Good morning, Big Brother fans. It's Wednesday, August 6th. Day 30 in the Big Brother house, right? That work? I think that works math-wise. Stuff's going on. This is day 2 of drama induced by Mickey putting up Jimmy. I've said it on Blue Sky that if Mickey had put up Catherine, we would have a whole different set of drama going on. I don't think it would have been enjoyable drama. It would have been drama of, oh, poor Riley or Catherine. One of them is probably leaving tomorrow, or Catherine is maybe leaving tomorrow if Kelly wins the... Well, we don't know for sure. If it was between Catherine and Riley, I don't know who they would have kept, and it really doesn't matter because we're not at that point this week. But let's just say drama would have been different if it was Catherine on the block instead of Jimmy. Jimmy is a much bigger player force within the game, and so it's creating a much different vibe in the house with him potentially leaving tomorrow. And so what I said was, we've got 3 days of just lots and lots of stuff going on the feeds, whereas it probably wouldn't have been nearly as active if it was Catherine up there. So, what is going on? Lots of scrambling, lots of stuff that there's so many moving pieces, I'm having problems wrapping my brain around them right now because I was unable to watch the feeds very much last night, and so I'm trying to catch up this morning, and so much even went on since I went to bed. I watched last night when I turned into the feeds, they're having a birthday party for Kelly. So they've got alcohol out. They are playing as a group. They're out in the backyard playing. Everybody's watching other people play pool. They're doing improv, acting, goofing around. It's all fun and it's fun to watch, but there's no real game talk going on. And so it was hard to get a sense of what's up. And then this morning, and I don't know if I'll get a chance to because I've got real life work. But I want to give a shout out to BB Lion and Toombs and a couple other accounts. I can't even think right now that have had some clips and stuff up there that I just literally listened to before I jumped on here. And the thing that has caught me, but I don't want to say it's a guarantee, is, the stuff I listen to, you're thinking, oh, for sure Jimmy is going to get voted out if he's left on the block. I can't say that with 100% certainty, but it's very possible that Jimmy will be taken out if he's still on the block because he is seen as a bigger threat in some ways. He's definitely seen as a, quote, shield. The term shield is used rather loosely in this house because it usually implies the character, to me, it usually implies the character is bigger, is stronger, and you can hold them in front of you to keep people from going at you, right? And people are saying that Jimmy is a shield for Rachel. And I have a hard time believing that, other than Rachel's more of a decoy. Jimmy's more of a decoy, like, pay attention to Jimmy, ignore me. Pay attention to Jimmy, ignore me. I don't see it as a shield because I just don't see it as that big of. I don't see him as that as big a bigger character than Rachel. But either way, it's very much arguing semantics here. Point is, Jimmy is seen as being closest to Rachel, and so people are willing to go after Jimmy and get him out. And this is one of the reasons that Mickey and Morgan decided that Jimmy is tighter with Rachel than us, so we got to get rid of Jimmy. And so that's why they took the bold move of taking someone they had a final 3 with and throwing him on the block. And I say they because it has been in a lot of ways Morgan and Mickey's head of household, because if Mickey had her way, she would have put up Vince probably. But Morgan managed to keep Vince safe and get her to put up Jimmy instead. So last night, the clips that I was talking about, and again, there's lots of stuff going on here. So I'm focusing down on one little thing that's a few incidents, but it's an interesting part of the game that will play out, and I don't know if the TV will show it or not. This is a great thing that the TV could show if things fall a certain way, right? If Jimmy gets evicted and certain people gets head of household, they might go back and revisit this whole storyline because it's interesting. So it goes back to last Thursday and things that I don't think we saw, but I'm sure that they have video of, where, going into it, we weren't sure if Adrian or Will was going to go. And Zach and Vincent saw themselves as the flip votes, and they were trying to keep Adrian. Vinny really wanted to keep Adrian over Will. So there was a huddle up. They talked about, and this is Ashley and Mickey talking at a quote 2-minute break. I don't know if it was a commercial break or if they mean after they came back from winning the or from Kelly winning the battle blockbuster. I don't know. But at some point, Zach, Vincent, and Ava huddled up and confirmed, according to Ava, that she was going to keep Will. And so that's when Vinny and Zach knew they had to vote to keep Will as well and vote out Adrian, which is not how Vinny wanted it to go, right? And so that maybe some of his drama and emotion in the diary room was actually more genuine than I was giving him credit for, because he knew that they couldn't get it pulled off. But this all came about last night. This discussion came about because the night before, again, we're talking about all the drama that happened. Night before last, Mickey kind of, and I mentioned it yesterday, I'm pretty sure, Mickey kind of tore into Ashley a little bit, and they kind of had a little bit of a struggle where Mickey had told Ashley that she was third on Jimmy's list of nominees, kind of a thing, and Ashley was not happy and didn't believe it, and whether it was true or not, it doesn't matter. Mickey could have heard it, and it doesn't have to be true necessarily. But the point is, Mickey kind of tore into Ashley a little bit, and it apparently upset Ashley. So Ashley, and again, some of this is my interpretation, of course, Ashley seemed to be on a we're going to fix this tour, and she came to the decision to, in some ways, throw Ava under the bus, as well as give Mickey some information to kind of maybe mend their relationship. And so Ashley last night, or early this morning, told Mickey, said, that vote was supposed to be going, that Zach and Vinny, and this is where Ashley's kind of saying Zach's a liar, and she's trying to discredit Zach and Vinny in some ways, but also maybe cast a little doubt on Ava, right? She's like, that vote could have almost been a tie, or even a vote to evict Will, and she explained what all went down, and she said, she said, and I think this is the case, Ashley said, I didn't know, nobody told me. Mickey's like, who told you all this went on? Because this is what I just told you earlier is what Ashley explained to Mickey. She said, who told you all this went down? That they huddled up, that there was last second eye contact, lots of scrambling as the people were sitting there waiting to vote. And Ashley's like, I just figured it out. I just body language, people talking, and I presented it to Ava like I already knew. And Ava said, who told you? And Mickey's like, Ashley, I don't know if Ashley told Ava that she just figured it out, or if Ashley implied that somebody else told her. But the point is Ashley confirmed it to, Ava confirmed to Ashley that it indeed almost was Will getting voted out. And so Ashley shared all this with Mickey last night in my opinion, again, as a way to bond with Mickey and kind of repair their stuff from the day before and solidify things. And then after that, Mickey cornered Ava and she did the whole, I just had a sense that this went on that night. And Ava kind of confirmed it again and said, well, I was on board, but yes, the guys were on the fence and it could have happened, so I was confirming and yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So it just, that all came about, and I don't know what the long-term effect of that is yet. This all may be not that important in the grand scheme of things, depending on who wins head of household, right? But if the right person or the wrong person wins head of household, it could create tension, reasons to put people up, dishonesty, Will, people were ready to vote you out, you didn't know that. Zach, you lied to me, or Vinny, you're doing things that I didn't know about. All these things may or may not come out in the future. This is the difference of the live feeds versus the TV show. If it doesn't end up being important, then it'll never get mentioned on the TV show, right? But it's interesting anyways. So that's the kind of major stuff that I can talk about in this little, my fairly brief one this morning, because I was listening to these video replays. Thank you again to Toombs and the BB Lion that allowed me to kind of spend about 15 minutes just listening to those conversations to kind of understand what was going on. So that's interesting. We'll see what happens. But today's a whole nother day, right? This is Wednesday. We got more than 24 hours yet until the eviction. So, hey, who knows? Also, I heard that it may be an endurance competition tomorrow. Now, I say that, and the backyard was still open last night. So, not sure what it could be. There's a lot of things that can be endurance competitions that don't have to be in the backyard. They can do it in their, quote, basement space. If it's they did the pressure cooker in the basement. That's where they held the buttons. They could do certain events like the teeter-totter stacking the ball thing, which is kind of an endurance. They could do that in that basement space. It may not be on the feeds is the thing. They could also potentially do the slip and slide. They did that whole, I think they did that drain thing in the basement. So I think they can get wet and messy in the basement. I'm not sure if they will. So people are saying, well, the backyard was open, so it can't be an endurance, but it may not be the wall. And they may be able to get things set up really quick. I just don't know. They can do an endurance without, it could be the holding the pole with the face against the thing. That's an endurance as well. It doesn't have to be an elaborate setup to make people stress out and stay for a long time. I think people are thinking wall or slip and slide for endurance, and it doesn't have to be those things. So I heard that it might be an endurance tomorrow. That's all I know. Rumor that I can't say for sure, but I get very little information this season, and rumored endurance is as good as I can go, and I'm okay if I'm wrong. But yeah, anyways, so that's what's up for today. For now, I can't go into much more because I'm out of time. It's interesting. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens today. And I'll certainly follow up with you guys. If something really big happens today, I'll let you know later, maybe. I do want to give a shout out to my patrons. I have increased. I mentioned I got a new one this weekend. So I'm up to a whopping 20 patrons, which is good for me. I've been higher than that in the past, but I've increased this year. I really appreciate those of you that have decided to jump on board, and those of you that have come back as well. But I want to give a shout out to everybody. I tend to do first names. Some people are a little bit, shy about their names, and I don't want to out them further than that. But if one of you says, I want my full name blasted out, my age, my address, just tell me and I'll do it. Whatever you want. I don't have all that information, by the way. I just have the names I have. And some of them are actually nicknames, so they aren't their real names anyways. But I'm just doing first quote names, or maybe initials, or, whatever. You know who you are. Again, I would gladly give you a bigger shout out if you want it. You just have to let me know. Some of people have said, I don't want a shout out, but I don't think any of these current people are those. All right, enough said. So in order of newest to longest term patrons, I want to give a big thank you and a shout out to Dawn. Dawn is my newest patron. Thank you, Dawn. She jumped on this weekend. I appreciate it. Then there's Jen, the next newest one. She jumped on 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, I think. Really appreciate that. Lisa as well, another new one. And Crystal is another new one, I think. And maybe even Cheryl. I don't remember if Cheryl was or not. But anyways, let's go. So we got Dawn, Jen, Lisa, Crystal, Cheryl, Brandy, Wendy, SGD. You know who you are. And Christina, Patrice, Sims, Tosha, Chip. We'll go with Chip. I know that's a reference to that I know. Io Grandma Deb. Hi to you, as always. Nona. Hi again, Nona. Thank you very much. Angela. Appreciate you. Kim. Diane. St. Clinton. And Ishara. That is all of you. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you very much. Don't forget, I think about you guys every time I do these things, and I appreciate it. If you would like to be a patron, you can go to patreon.com/bbgossip and sign up. It is a monthly charge. There is not a charge per episode. There is not, I've done a few bonus things. I've done a couple this year. I've done one for sure. I should do another one where I do a video recording of myself while I'm doing this. And I've posted that. And as a matter of fact, on the one I did this year, I did like an extra 3 or 4 minutes of just talking just to my patrons. I probably will do that again soon. And there's a couple other things that are up there that are even to the free patrons. There's at least one thing that I just did this weekend that's up there for free patrons. If you want to check it out, you do have to be a patron at the very least to do it, but you can sign up at the free level. And but most of the stuff is behind the membership wall, right? That's everything, everybody. Again, thanks again. Appreciate you all. Have a good Wednesday. And again, apologies for not having as much detail as I do some days, but there was a lot. Just that little thing, that whole interaction I found really interesting today, and I wanted to share it, kind of dive deep into it. I think Jimmy's in danger if he doesn't win, but we have another whole day. Kelly, again, she's probably next in line in danger. Riley is most likely safe. He is just, I don't know, man. Again, we don't see him in the same way, or the fandom doesn't see him in the same way as the house does. It's just not. I don't know if they see him as a big threat either. Remember, they're playing there to win a game. They're looking at people to get to the end with. And my guess is in some ways they can live with him. They don't see him as so annoying that they don't want to live with him. They also don't see him as being a huge threat in some parts of his game. And so that's probably why they're willing to just not worry about it. They know he could be a potential physical threat. I don't think they see him as being the game side, the mental side as being as big of a threat. And so they're like, we'll just continue on. He's okay. We'll get through with him to the end. I think, and everybody else is going, I don't want to see him on my feeds anymore. It's like, well, sorry. He's not that, we're just going to keep him. Think of, and not in the same way, but think of Victoria, right? From Big Brother 16. They kept her around to the end. Why? Because she wasn't going to win. It was known she's not going to win no matter what. I think in some ways they look at Mickey and they go, Riley, and they go, Riley's not going to win, so we can just keep him around and we can live in the same house with him. He's okay. He's funny. This and that. So that's my guess on that. All right, enough of this. Wrapping it up. Take care, and we will talk to you guys on Thursday. Bye-bye.